Hello, everyone. This is Aaron Gutekunst from Elevate for this week's Monday Morning Mentor. So we started off the theme for this next cycle at talking about SEO and giving you some expectations about what SEO involves and what you need to be focusing on. And this week, we're going to be focusing on the big three, the local three pack that's at the top of Google and how you can show up there just by doing some really simple practices and getting some things kind of ironed out on your Google business profile. So what's really great about having a search engine like Google is that it is basically, well, it is the world's largest search engine, and it has a rating system. And because it has a rating system, you better be on it. A Google Business Profile is a great way to be on the front page inside of local business searches for that three pack that I mentioned before. So if you go onto Google and you search for real estate agents near me, there's going to be a couple ads that of course people have to pay for, and then there's like a three pack that gives you by name three different agents or real estate businesses that are showing up in that search. It's the three pack that gets featured whenever someone is looking for whatever business near me. And what's important about this is that all of that comes from your Google Business Profile. And so we're going to be going over a couple of things like, what is that? Is it important? How does it help your SEO? And, how do you appear there? How do you get in that local three pack? And so that's what we're going to be diving into today. So why don't we go ahead and get started? So first off, what is that Google three pack? Or the Google Maps local three pack. Like I mentioned before, it's basically how Google displays the three top results for local searches, for whatever business someone is searching for. It generates, Google generates a list of possible businesses that match the query, that might match the question, and also match the location. So if someone is searching for dentists near me or dentists in where I'm from in New Orleans, then you get the results showing the top three dentists in that area. Now, that Google three pack will also contain critical business information that the user could also be searching for when they're performing the search. So things like, your phone number and address, if you have ratings, which you really should have if you have a Google Business Profile, your available hours, your website link, the location where you are located on the map, as well as directions on how to get there. So why is this important? Here's our next talking point. Why is this actually important for your business? Google places a high priority on the user experience or the UX. You can see that because they are constantly making strides towards making the user experience kind of like a big ranking factor when it comes to SEO. We're going to get into a bit more of that later on, but the big thing to note is that when you're relying on actual visitors to your location to generate revenue, that's going to be probably a little bit different than you as a real estate professional who is looking for queries into your website or phone calls or into other lead gen sources. So what's really neat about this and important about this for you, since you're not necessarily looking for a lot of foot traffic to your office, right? Before making a visit, about 56% of people will search for the local business through their browser, most of that through their mobile phone. And they'll use Google Maps to find the business that they're looking for. And with all that information already on your local business profile in Google, you effectively make yourself way more visible to customers, which is huge, right? Appearing in that three pack means that folks aren't having to dive deeper and search further into more listings or go through extra clicks to see where you are. Being a three pack means they just ran the search and boom, you're right there in front of them. It results in, of course, more inquiries, more leads generated for you through your more visits to your website, more phone calls, and the I guess, interest or the traffic that has been generated by this just ever since its inception has been, as much as a 200% increase, just basically overnight, for businesses that are finding themselves in the Google 3-pack. Whether that is through, for businesses that have a brick and mortar location, whether that's through just the foot traffic, or for companies and businesses that refer more on website visits and phone calls and inquiries that way. Either one of them have see drastic increases when they're inside of that 3-pack. So the next part of this is, at bringing this all into our theme of SEO, is that, does this affect your SEO ranking? Now, whenever Google is considering who is going to appear in this 3-pack, they basically look for 3 things. The first one is how well the business profile matches the query. So things like title of the business, keywords that are associated with the business. It's also looking for proximity to the user and where they are searching, like what location they're searching for in that business. So again, having those identifiers of what street you're on, what town you're in, what county you're in, what state you're in, all of those things are important to include. And then also how well known the business is. And this is exemplified through things like the ratings, which we'll get into in a little bit. All of these things kind of combine and to form this ranking system. With the biggest determining factor actually out of all of those is going to be user location, which kind of makes sense. But what also builds into this is your ranking system, like how many positive reviews you have, how many how closely your keywords and everything match up to the specific search that they're looking for. There are these what are called like long tail keywords. So almost like long strings of keywords that are very, very specific. But whenever someone looks for something that's specific, that means you're almost guaranteed to pop up at the top. So, SEO best practices still come into play when you're kind of like digging for that ranking in the top 3. But how do you do it? So here's kind of like the big thing. So how do you rank higher in that Google 3-pack? It's like kind of like optimizing yourself, if you will, to appear in those top spots. So I'm going to go over a few quick tips with you. The first one is that, like I mentioned before, you want to optimize your it's called your Google My Business profile. This is going to be kind of like the primary source of information about your business on Google specifically. Of course, you have your website, which you need to have linked to that profile, and you will have other landing pages and things like that. You're on the MLS, IDX, all of that good stuff. But this is where they would find out more information about you just while they're on Google itself. This will enable your listing to show up in more relevant searches in your area. It gives you an opportunity to offer your customers more information, which in turn improves upon your business's visibility, allowing more customers to find you when they need to. When you are going through and optimizing your profile, here's some things you need to keep in mind. You need to make sure that the information you're putting in is complete and it's up to date and it's engaging. You don't want to put something like the wrong phone number in there or the wrong website URL. You want to make sure that your location is verified. There are some steps that you can go through on Google to basically claim the spot that you are located at, which is going to be important. Especially for those local searches. You want to be sure that you're adding in kind of like your availability hours so that if folks are looking to reach out to you, then they kind of know when the best time is to reach you. Even though, of course, we know in real estate, anytime is the perfect time to reach you. So you may want to make a notation about that too. Add photos of yourself and of your clients and of your business and things that other things that you've done. You can even include graphics of like testimonials and things like that, just to kind of add more spice to it. And then be sure to manage and respond to reviews. So, reviews tell customers that you, of course, care about your feedback, which helps generate positive reviews and add kind of like to that that proof, if you will, that you are the one that these new prospects are looking for. So, those are all things that you can do, very, very simple things you can do to optimize your Google business profile. The next thing after Google business profile is to make sure your website is more responsive, because Google puts a high priority, like I said before, on the user experience on your website. Now, what do I mean by responsive? Well, responsive basically means that whatever device they're looking at your website on, whether it's a desktop, a laptop, a tablet, their phone, anything, that it is loading quickly and it is loading well, and they're not having to wait. And things are showing up the way that they're supposed to, and it's easy to navigate. Website load time especially is very important. There was a study done a little while back that basically said if any page takes more than about 3 seconds to load, it loses over half of its visitors before it's even fully loaded. Like, just boom, like that, gone. Now, this is where something like real estate websites kind of differ a little bit from other industries, because if you run like a free tool, something like Google's page speed insights, just to kind of see how fast your page is loading, your page visually may actually load up much quicker than what it's reporting on this tool, because you have things like your IDX or MLS search in the background that takes longer to load up, but people don't see it. Like, people aren't like waiting for that to load up because it's happening kind of in the background. So, your load time on your review sites may not entirely be accurate for your real estate website, because again, an IDX will load more slowly. But the key thing is that it's unnoticed. So the website may pop up immediately, and even though the IDX is loading in the background, people are still having the good experience of seeing your website there. You want to make sure that your things like images, menu tabs, drop downs, videos, all of those things load quickly, like things like videos play. You don't want to bog down your website with any unnecessary animations or large video files. Keep it clean and easy to navigate. The other part of it is because, again, so many people run these searches on their phone and look at websites on their phone, that making sure that your website is responsive and will look good on a mobile device is huge. Making sure that your texts and images and videos, not only in the case of mobile devices, load quickly, but that they still look good once they actually arrive on the screen. You want to make sure that the web page kind of like reformats itself and adapts to the size of the screen it's on, regardless of what the size is, that everything is loading flawlessly, and that the navigation between the pages is still easy to use. So, things like making a website more responsive not only strengthens the user experience, this will also directly impact how well you actually show up in rankings, because Google highly values websites that are responsive. And so, with all the people who are doing those searches, it's very, very important. It's basically not even an option at this point to not have a responsive website. So please make sure that yours fits that mold. And then lastly, having reviews on your profile. So, we've talked about like the business profile and everything, but the online reviews are what's going to be huge, because remember what we talked about at the beginning, one of the things that Google looks for are businesses that are highly reviewed, or reviewed more often and at a higher rating than the other ones. And that's a big factor in appearing in that 3-pack. So, and the other part of it too is that, there are people who are still looking at these reviews, right? If you buy something off of Amazon, chances are you kind of take a glance at some of those reviews and see how they're, how that product is working out. Same thing with, our businesses or real estate professionals. About 86% of consumers will say that they read reviews for a local business, and a huge chunk of those don't trust a business that don't have reviews. So if you're on the Google if people are searching for you on Google and you have a Google business profile, but you don't have reviews, they're not going to put as much trust in you or in that listing basically for your business as they would someone who has a bunch of reviews, even if the whole bunch of reviews are maybe like a 4 out of 5. They're things that establish trust, and they also help, again, your ranking in that 3-pack. They don't immediately reviews don't immediately show up on Google. It takes a little bit of time, not long, but it takes a little bit of time for them to show up. But this is something where you can, go to your clients, go to your friends, go to folks who, will put in a good word for you and basically say, hey, please, would you mind just doing me a quick favor? Friend, would you mind just going onto my Google business profile, leave me a quick review? Please give me, I would hope that he would give me 5 stars and maybe just leave a couple of sentences saying, how, my work in the community or my work with, folks that hey client, I know we just had this, fantastic experience getting you into your new home. Would you mind, just pulling up this Google profile real quick, leaving me, just a 5-star rating and review, and then, and you can even turn it into, a contest or implement some kind of reward if you wanted to as well. Like maybe, leave a review, get like a $5 Starbucks gift card, something like that. Just something to help incentivize that and take it to kind of like the next level. So just to recap, through the things that will help you get into that Google 3-pack that, whenever someone is searching locally for real estate professionals, that nice little brick where it has the top 3 real estate professionals in the area. Remember the 3 things that you want to focus on. First off, have an optimized Google business profile. Secondly, make sure that your website is mobile responsive, that everything is loading correctly and quickly, because again, Google likes that. And make sure that you have as many fantastic reviews on your profile as you can. Those 3 things are all, first off, free. You're not having to pay to play in that space, but also those show up above the spots where, national corporations are funneling tons of money to show up. So it would behoove you to spend a little bit of time to kind of get that in place, because it will take a little bit of time to set up on the front end. But your Google business profile is something that once it's done, you basically can just monitor from time to time and update as needed. It's cost effective. It's an easy way to compete for those coveted local showcase spots. And it's invaluable not only to your SEO, but also to your lead gen and ultimately your bottom line, which is what this is all about, right? This is all of this with your marketing strategies and everything. It's all to help your bottom line. So I know this was a lot. I hope that you took away some good notes from this. I will have a link right down here. We have an SEO guide that you can peel through and kind of learn more about it. We'll be covering more things with this topic in the following weeks, and I look forward to doing that. Also, check us out at tryelevate.com, where you can learn more about us. We work in a lot of this space to help with your SEO, to help you to grow your business, to further your lead gen, to increase your presence online, and to just provide an end-to-end solution with the online marketing component being just one of just this fantastic ecosystem that's being developed for you. So anyways, I hope you'll check us out. Also check us out for just the free coaching. We have tons of resources on there, as well as coaches who are available to chat with you if you just want to do like a quick website or social media review of what you have in place already, just to kind of see if they can give you some pointers. Since I can't give you the pointers here in the comment section, just while I'm live and recording it. So anyways, I look forward to seeing you guys next week. I hope you have some takeaways from this that you can just go ahead and implement in the meantime. And until I see you guys next week, I hope you all are well. Bye-bye.